Hey everybody, it's Erica Galinas from the Mike McCaddy team at Century 21 affiliated here in Cherville. I want to share a Dyer market update for you. There's been a lot of changes, there's a lot of activity, people coming from Illinois, all over the place. So I wanted to kind of give you the numbers so you can see where the market is now in case you're thinking of either selling a house or buying a house in Dyer. Obviously, Dyer encompasses St. John Township, Dyer area, all of those different things. This is an overall picture of what the Dyer, basically the Dyer mailing address is doing. If you guys want something more specific for, a township or a neighborhood or something like that, absolutely, comment down below, give me a call, I could be happy to help you. So, it's close to the end of May, but it's not officially the end of May yet. So I kind of have both April and May numbers. So what we have in April 2019 in the town of Dyer, 23 units were sold for an average sales price of $281,218. So if you do the math there, $6.46 million of real estate was sold in the town of Lowell just in the month of April. Days on market, so the time from, when you first put a listing on the market until you get a buyer is about 57 days, so just under 2 months. And so the list to sales price ratio, so if you list your house for X and you sell it for Y, how much are you getting of your X in that final sales price? So if you list a house for $100,000 and you get $90,000 for it, your list to sales price ratio is 90%. So for the month of April, list to sales price, 98.3%. So, less than 2% shy of 100% of those listing prices these houses in Dyer sold for in April. So far in May, and again, what is today, the 29th, I think, so almost done. So far in May, 30 units were sold. So a few more houses were sold between May 1st and today. Average sales price about $268,000, a little bit less than average in April. But we sold $8 million worth of real estate. So the average is a little lower, but we're, $1.5 million more than we did in April. Days on market was a little shorter, only 49 days from the day of the listing until the day we have a buyer. And the percentage slipped a little bit too, not huge obviously, 97.8% from list to sales price. So that's a difference of what? 0.5%. So 0.5% isn't that big a deal. But the interesting thing that I wanted to share with you, so if you go back a year, so using April's numbers, so April 2019 we sold 23 for an average of $281,000. April 2018, so a year ago in April, we sold 32 units, which is higher. We did about $7.9 million, which is a little higher. We sold them for 99.01%, which is a little higher. So it seems like April last year was better than April this year, but the real deal is the average sales price in April of 2018, $247,569. So April 2019, $281,000, 218. So that's a difference of almost almost $40,000 average sales price for these houses in Dyer. And again, this is everything from, the cheapest foreclosure in town to $1 million home. But on average, our sales prices in Dyer went up $35,000+ in the matter of 1 year. So if you bought a house for $300,000 last year, it's now worth like $335,000 on average. In terms of active listings, and this is something I always pay attention to see how quickly things are moving and what kind of inventory is out there. As of today, we have 58 active listings in Dyer, and that goes all the way from, there's a condo that's listed for $139,900, and there is a $1.01 million house listed in Dyer as well. So this runs the gamut from the smallest condo to the biggest mansion basically in town. So 58 active listings that are currently for sale. Interestingly, and this is different from other places in Lake County, Lowell, St. John, Cedar Lake, a lot of that 41 corridor, parts of Crown Point, only 6 of those 58 listings were new construction. So what's happening with a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers in a lot of other towns in our area is their prices for their existing house. It was built in the 80s, it was built in the 90s, it was built in 2010. Those sales prices are kind of artificially lowered because we're competing with new construction. So I've had some listings where, we have to price them carefully because they're beautiful houses, but they're not brand new. So you always have to make exceptions for that. But in Dyer, there's only 6 new construction houses for sale, which, compared to, the last market update I did on the Lowell market, almost 50% of the housing inventory in Lowell for sale that month was new construction. So this is nothing. I mean, that's not very much at all. That's a really good sign for sellers of existing houses because you're not having to compete with, you know, the newest, the fancy, not even the fanciest. They're not fancy usually at all, but you're not having to compete with that build date. So if you have something, you know, that was built in the 70s, you've done a bunch of updating, nice kitchen, nice bathroom, you don't really have to compete with the same kind of house, same square footage, everything else, but, you know, 40 years newer. There's only 6 of those out there, so that's actually excellent in terms of seller competition right now. One other thing that I found very interesting, I pay attention to all the numbers that come in every month. So if you list your house and then you have a buyer, so then you're under contract is what we call it. And then while you're under contract, you do home inspections, you know, appraisals, title work, all kinds of things, and then you close. So obviously, I'm sure a bunch of you have been there, where you go to the title company and you know, sign a million pieces of paper and you actually close. So from listing, which we have these active numbers, those 58 actives I was talking about, and the sales, which so far, like I said, in May has been 8 million, there are 66 housing units currently pending, so in between those two things, in Dyer. 66. That's huge. And again, condos, big houses, all the way, but in Dyer, there's 66 pendings, which is double what we closed so far in May, more than. That represents $18 million in real estate activity just in the town of Dyer currently right now. So things that were listed whenever, but went under contract in the past, usually about 30 to 60 days, something like that. Those are going to be closing. So as we move into June, July, August, those 66, they're going to close. We're going to be adding, like I said, $18 million to our real estate market of real estate that changed hands. Obviously, not everything closes. Sometimes you'll have a buyer, their loan doesn't fall through. Sometimes you'll have a seller that backs out. Those percentages are very low. I expect that almost, say, 90% of those 66 units are actually going to close. So we will be in the $17 million range in the town of Dyer. So what does that mean for sellers? People who live in Dyer maybe want to move South County, maybe want to move Porter County. You know, traffic's getting a little crazy and you want a little green space. These are excellent numbers. I mean, if you just use the April 2018 to April 2019, you are looking at, like I said, an average increase of $35,000 in equity. And the reason why that's happening in Dyer, it's happening all over Lake and Porter County, is because we don't have any sellers. You know, people are hesitant to sell. They don't know about the market. They're worried where they're going to go. So we have all of these buyers coming in, particularly in Dyer. People from Illinois are coming in here every day trying to move in. You know, people who are downsizing, you know, they raised 4 kids in this big 4,000 square foot house. Now it's just the 2 of them and they're sick of cleaning it, so they want to get something a little smaller. Maybe get a ranch, maybe get a townhome. There are not enough houses for these people to buy. So if you are thinking of selling in Dyer, give me a call. I know I personally have buyers looking in Dyer right now. I certainly know that we can get your house sold. Real low key, no pressure. I'm not at all a used car salesman type or anything like that, but I'd love to get you the numbers so you can figure out what the right step is for you guys. You know, whether it's, you know, how much equity do we have? What can we buy? What's the process? Do I need to do updating? All of those kinds of questions that kind of come before, you know, we sign a contract or something like that. I'm absolutely happy to help you with that anytime. That's about all I have for now. Like I said, the big news to me, well, 2 big things. That we have 58 active listings, and only 6 of them are new construction, which is fantastic for sellers of existing houses. And the fact that we have $18 million currently under contract getting ready to be closed in the town of Dyer. That's just a phenomenal number. I mean, if you figure that we did about $8 million in May, so if these close in the next 30 to 60 days, that's double, absolute plus, of what we did in just 1 month. So that's really fantastic. Like I said, give me a call. If you're a buyer thinking about moving to Dyer or anywhere, Lake County, Porter County, I even work in Jasper County, Newton County, give me a call or text me anytime. Number's right there, 219-765-2062. You can always comment down below. I check those all the time, so I'll be able to get back to you. Also, if you prefer email, HS by Erica is the email address. HS as in Sam by Erica, ERICA, @gmail.com. Or you can always go to my website at homesalesbyerica.com or my Facebook business page by the same name. So that's it. I will keep you guys updated towards the end of June on the May and June numbers, and I hope you guys had a great Memorial Day weekend. Thanks.